Welcome back to another episode of Strength We Trust. It's going to be a really good one. I'm excited to have these guests on tonight. We have not just one, we have two guests. Uh, Powerful couple in the fitness space. My boy Aaron Eason and his wife, Reverend Kiana Eason. And they are here to talk about their influences and what they're doing in the fitness space, and they work with people not just to help them physically but mentally, emotionally, and also spiritually. So I'm really excited to have this conversation. So welcome, and thank you for joining me this evening.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, man.
Nah,
So
I'm pumped, like, cause Rashawn. It's funny because Rashawn, like, he explained to me you guys were coming on and started giving me like the backstory and everything like that, and I was like, hold on, I gotta dive in. So I'm not gonna lie, I clicked the follow like immediately, and I was like,
Okay.
yeah, no, of course, because I was
Thank
like,
you.
and I gotta say, like, you guys shine, man. Like
Thank you.
together, individually, like you guys are shining.
like
Thank you.
individually,
Yeah.
you guys were doing your thing,
Right.
but then together, it hits different.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what's
Like
up.
for real. Like Aaron's my boy. Like Aaron and I go back to high school.
High school, yes.
And we've been, staying in touch because we both work in the wellness space.
Mhm.
And Kiana, I've known of her for many years. She's amassed a massive following because of the work that she does, and it's powerful. So to see you guys together, it's powerful. I don't know what other word to use to describe it, but it's
appreciate it.
powerful.
All right.
So not everyone knows Aaron, so I'm gonna give you a chance to talk about your entry into the fitness space, Mister
Wow.
Always Good, Never
Okay.
Bad.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. Where do I start? I mean, when I was 19, I got into fitness through training. I was trying out indoor a football league, XFL, and it was the last year. It was going to be in Nassau Coliseum,
Hmm.
and then as soon as I think it was ready to, they cut the program.
Uh-huh.
And me and a couple of people were training. And I was training everyone that was trying out in the area. And I realized at that moment, like, I really like training. So I got into it a little bit more. Outside of the crisis I was in, it made me realize I could teach. And this was 19. On top of that, I got into fitness when I was younger because my grandfather was a bodybuilder.
You told me that story.
And he would, every time I came to the house in Brooklyn, he would say, "Why are you looking so small?" So I would
Let me
always
tell you, Aaron was never small. To be clear, he was never small.
that's crazy that you say that, because I'm always working on something, but and it just got me into just being in shape, and then training was something that made me feel fulfilled. It made me realize, like, I can actually help people, and it's not something that I really look at the money end of it the whole time. I really feel like I'm doing something for people. I'm
Yeah.
encouraging people to change and be better.
Yeah.
I make people fall in love with the process.
Yeah.
And almost 17 years into this now, and
Crazy, right? When you say it out loud.
Yeah.
17 years.
yeah, and there's so many different ceilings you hit in this industry, in this space of fitness, but there's so much room to grow.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that until I met someone that was well beyond where I'm at, and that person sitting next to me. So
Right. Right.
I found out there was a lot more work to do.
Yeah.
Basically.
And I know, Kiana, you were in accounting. In accounting, and then made the shift.
Did his homework.
I do
for
my
real.
homework.
Nah, yeah,
I
we
do my
definitely do our
homework.
homework over
You
here.
guys are
I do my homework.
Okay. Yes, I was. For
What?
me.
Yeah. What made you make that switch?
So I have a different story. Mine was I was going through a divorce, and I just needed an outlet,
Hmm.
and working out became my outlet. And while working in accountant, I started working out with one of my coworkers, and I just got obsessive with the whole art of fitness and just the whole thing, how it made me feel, and it worked. And she was like, "This is something that you need to do. This is your calling.
Hmm.
Like, you allowed me, or you helped me lose over 100 pounds."
Wow.
And
Over 100
it was in
pounds.
like almost 9 months, 8, 9 months.
Wow.
And we were just working. But it
Yeah.
like mentally I was going
Yeah.
through something. So it was just like I was just putting in work.
But you pouring
And I
into
was
it though.
yeah,
Yep.
and purging at the same time.
Yep.
And so was she, but I didn't know what she was walking through. She was walking through her own stuff.
Yeah.
So it helped. So we kind of like helped each other. So after that, I put in my 2 weeks notice, and I left, and I never looked back.
It's probably
Bravo.
scary to leave something secure to jump into
No,
this
it
world
wasn't.
of
Actually, I just
fitness.
told my mom. I was like, "Mom, I'm leaving my job,"
And it just happened.
and I said, "I honestly, this was the only thing I said. What's the worst that can happen? This is me and God. I said, what's the worst that can happen? I'll get another job."
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair because this space is tough.
It
You know, the
is.
national
It
average
is.
for a personal trainer is less than minimum wage. I
Yeah.
don't know if you ever heard that stat, but if you're looking to do this fitness thing
No,
as
it's
a
true, though.
career,
It's-
and
It depends on where you at and where you starting.
This
Like,
is
everybody
true, but
has
we-
to start somewhere.
But we talking about the national average is below minimum wage, and people see, you know, this fitness thing as something like sexy, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get paid to work out
Yeah.
and train all these, you know, sexy people and get people in better shape.
it
But
definitely
it's
don't start out like
hard.
that.
No,
It doesn't.
Not
Look,
set
it
up
doesn't.
like that.
It doesn't
What?
look anything like that.
No.
You know,
No,
and
it
you
does
gotta
not.
take some lumps along the way,
Yeah.
and you have to really be passionate about it
Yeah.
to stick with it. Otherwise, you know,
Yeah.
you're just gonna fall by the wayside.
Right.
But I do think that when you have individuals like yourselves, when you guys are so passionate about it and you pour so much into it, it's almost impossible to fail. And Rashawn and I have talked about this, is that like when him and I got together, like over 10 years ago now in the training space, you can just feel it. You can get around people and you know that they're genuine and they really want to help people. They're not just chasing the bottom dollar. And like when those people start to get together, it's like endless.
Yeah.
But then you have the individuals who think, like you said, the sexy side, they're going to just pop in and make $1 million. And it's like,
Yeah.
you're not in it for the right stuff. But you figured out really quickly you in it for the right stuff. And I think that's why you were able to succeed and help even just one person that quickly.
Yeah.
I think once you do it once, though, it's like you're hooked now. Once you give one person that satisfaction and put them through that process,
Yeah.
there's no going back.
Right.
There's no going back.
But you gotta love it though.
But that
You
100%.
have you
have to.
Not
absolutely
just, like,
have to
wanna
love
just
it.
have fun
Because
with
it goes through you. Like, you
Right.
make other people fall in love with
Yeah.
it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Nice.
Like we talk about this all the time here, is that like the more hunger and drive I have, not just to learn and educate myself in this space, but to continue to work on myself physically, mentally, and emotionally, it pours into my clients without them even realizing. Like, I don't even realize it. Like, I just moved recently, not too long ago, and you know, it's a big adjustment moving halfway across the country. And I remember that first month we were making the joke, like I wasn't getting my steps in, I wasn't moving.
Yeah.
I was just anxious, like, oh my God, I'm back here by myself. How am I going to do this? And then like my clients were suffering. They weren't doing their homework all of a sudden. And I'm like, oh, no. We got to change this.
Yeah.
So that refocus on myself, now all of a sudden it spills into them. And you did it. Like, you took it and ran with it. And now look at you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I actually have a question, because, you know, most times in relationships, a husband and a wife, or however the case may be, are in different spaces. You work in your thing, I work in my thing. I'll see you when you get home, and we go from there. It's not the case for you guys. So I'm just curious, as how are you guys able to navigate working in similar spaces and still give each other individual room to grow as well? I'm curious about that.
We still live that life because I work in a whole nother place than she does.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Even though we work in the same space,
Right.
she has a home, I scatter.
Okay.
I have multiple clients from random places. We just understand the business together, so it's not. It's nothing. There's no real issue with what we do for a living. If I could, that's what else? What else could you add to that? Yeah, because it's not. I've never dated anyone in this industry.
So that's what I was going to also be my
So how is that
follow-up.
different
Like,
now?
how is
She
that
hasn't
different
either.
now? Right.
How is
I
that different
never
now?
wanted to date
I
you.
mean,
Just say that.
I wouldn't say I didn't want to. I don't know. It never happened for me.
Okay.
Right.
And I didn't know that that's what this was until it was happening. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, I'm dating a trainer, but she's a lot more than that to me. As a matter of fact, she's that last to me.
Right.
In terms of how I see her. So, yeah, the benefit to us being in the same field is it comes in other areas. It doesn't matter so much based on what we do for a living.
Exactly.
It's
I
more
don't
of
even think we noticed that we work in the same.
because
Other than us working out together.
we've done one class together, and
Yeah,
even
I'm
that
like-
was like it is what it is.
Right, you
Like,
just did it,
yeah, because I think we have. She'll agree with this. I think we have a high calling on our relationship to do something other than fitness together.
Yeah.
So it just so happens that we talk the same language
Right.
there. So
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to step into other spaces and
100%.
build and work together.
Because you guys
That
are
makes
you guys are speaking the same language, you're on the same page,
Yeah.
and that's amazing.
Because what I find too, like with the clients I work with, your partner has a significant impact on your own success in the fitness space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if they're not about that life, then your chances of success are slim to none.
Right.
Because when you're trying to eat the right things, when you're trying to carve out time to work out and do the things you need to do, I see you laughing. Tell me the inside joke. You can't listen.
Well, actually, you don't say it, I'm gonna say it.
Go ahead.
I'm overfed. I'm overfed.
You look like your brother.
No, I'm serious. Like,
No,
like
he's serious.
she feeds me like 3 dinners. Like, I'm not kidding. I swear. But it's good. It's good
No, okay.
You trying
because.
to set him up? You trying to set him up?
No, absolutely not. That's
Nah,
not
but
No,
you
what
she,
gotta-
I'm
you
but
gotta
then,
feed the
then here's
machine.
the other thing. Like she pushes me in the gym.
Right.
She's a workhorse. Like it's not like she's trying to keep up with me because I'm trying to keep up with her. And the reality is, I
Oh.
think she thinks that I eat a lot. And I do.
You know, what are you
What?
talking
Yeah,
about?
what are you talking
What are we
about?
talking
What are we
about?
talking
You
about
talking to
right
two
now?
other
So-
fitness
talking to two
heads.
other
Like,
No, you guys
right now, man.
But this like one day when
Okay.
if y'all ever come over for dinner, y'all see what I'm talking about. We're talking about this. It's a lot of food.
So I like to cook. I do. I will say this.
Yeah, she does.
Okay. I like to cook.
Yeah.
And thank God he enjoys the cooking.
Everything,
Okay.
anything, and everything.
But he does eat a lot.
It's because I'm fed a lot.
But
You need it though.
This the need part, and then it's like I'm
But
not
we-
about to not eat this food that she put on my plate. Like it's almost like,
that-
I grew up in a
That's how
space
we
where
that's how we were brought
Okay.
up.
yo,
though.
you don't
leave that.
you
don't
clean
leave,
that
you don't
plate.
leave plates. Yeah.
And at home it was different. You
Yeah.
got a certain amount.
Yep.
Here I get double.
oh,
I get
not
double. It's
true.
always,
All right,
it's always.
whatever.
But
Yeah.
no, you know what it is though. I'm fed well, and we do help each other.
It all makes sense.
It all
That's why
makes
you
sense
so
now.
It's not just
spoiled.
food though.
Garbage.
We nah, it's
It's not.
heck no. It's a lot of healthy food.
Yeah.
And we juice together.
Yeah.
We do
we
a lot
actually
of stuff
cook
together.
food,
We
yeah.
fast together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's really like it really isn't that hard. It's
but
not
that-
a thing in
Ex-
our house. It's
it just
like
happens
we just do
organically.
it.
You guys
Yeah.
just feed off each other. Like,
Yeah,
this is
if
the
she's
lifestyle.
locking
Yeah.
in, all right, I lock in with you. If
100%.
I'm locking in, I'm gonna lock in with you.
100%.
And then when it's over, we over with but my over looks different from hers.
There you go.
She doesn't go crazy like I do. And
Right.
sometimes she'll
Sometimes
eat
I
a
go-
whole. I'm not even gonna put her on blast. Like
Nah,
that.
Go ahead.
nah.
The people need to hear it.
So
It's
what is
okay.
it? It's
It's-
a-
we're-
Put it out there. We
you know-
having real talk right
Nah,
now.
that's
Yeah.
serious. A cinnabon, the roll thing that you
Yeah,
make.
you talking to a fat kid at
She'll
heart.
eat
so.
the whole
Pillsbury, though.
thing
Okay,
Yeah.
so wait.
by herself.
But what
in
part
one
of
sitting.
It? What part of it?
It's
though?
a lot
It
still.
doesn't even matter what part.
It's the
of it.
top,
Like,
but it's
It
a
doesn't
lot. It's
matter
still a
what
lot. It's the frosting part. Like it's the most.
I legit
It's the most detrimental part of it. The
So
most,
for
So
all
good.
the people listening, we're human too. We
Yes.
don't just
Yeah,
eat
yeah,
like, you know,
But this is
protein
like
and vegetables.
random. Like, and then when it happens, I'm almost like, babe, did you just eat that whole thing?
He asked me
Because I don't know that she can eat like that all the time. Like it's
Listen,
random, and I'm like,
my wife
where
works
does
in
it
the
go?
food industry. I have pastries all over my apartment,
Oh,
so I have
I'm
my
so
I
sorry.
have my moments
That's hard.
where I'm just like busting down
hard.
everything, and she's looking at me because I normally don't have a sweet tooth,
Okay.
but every once in a while that craving just
And everything
hits,
just
and I'm
goes.
just
That's it.
everything.
Me. I once
Everything.
In a while,
That's
And then
basically
she's
how it is,
like-
yeah.
literally once
She's
in a
like,
while.
yo, I needed those samples. I'm like, oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Oops.
Something
Once in a
took
while.
over me.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. Have you ever done leg day with her?
Yeah.
What was that like? Because
No, she. When I tell you, like a lot of people, I really wish like a lot of y'all got to work out with us. I got to work out with us.
I'm ready.
I'm with it.
Yeah, we ready.
I'm with
you
it.
already know how I give it up.
Yeah, I'm with it.
But she's a beast.
I believe it.
Like when I say she's a beast, I don't like working out with her all the time
I never liked
because
doing legs.
I thought I was crazy. She moves faster and she lifts just as heavy. And if I tell her to go heavier, she'll go heavier. She does what she needs to do.
Listen,
So like being in the gym with her, it kind of makes me go harder. I don't
Right.
need a partner.
Right.
I could literally
You
see
ain't got no
her
choice.
locking in. I'm like, all right,
you gotta turn
hey,
up.
just turn up way more. And
my
it
first
keeps me on point.
workout with a female trainer, I couldn't walk for like 3 weeks. For
Yeah,
3 weeks
yeah,
because we
all
did
she does is legs. All she does.
legs.
Yeah.
like, we
But
do
she'll
it.
do everything else. That's the thing about it. I don't put her in that box because when I tell her to work with me, she'll work with me.
Nah, I don't doubt it, but the
So-
leg
I don't
workouts
mind
are
working.
treacherous.
I just rather
Like,
do
dude,
legs.
like supersets. The first workout
it's-
with
it's
a
crazy.
female trainer,
It's crazy.
we did a spin class, but she was a spin instructor too.
Okay.
We did 45-minute spin class. I'd never done spin before in my life, but she
Mm.
was like, yo, let me get all the guy trainings. I'm going to take you through something. I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm with it. Let's go. We did a spin class. She's like, turned it up a full dial or whatever. I'm like, I can't even move this thing anymore. My legs are fried. Then after that, we went to the strength floor and we started doing strength training. And I'm like, I got nothing. I couldn't walk for 3 weeks,
Sounds
bro.
about right.
3 weeks.
Yeah, and her
Mhm.
leg days don't phase her. The next day is leg day, and the day after that is leg day. So
Mhm.
I don't
I
know.
gotta introduce y'all to my boy, Mahmoud. He did a squat program. He did squats every day for 4 months.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Every day for
But
4
that's what you
months.
do, babe.
He broke it down to us. It
You
was
I
crazy.
legit
had
do
rest
that.
days. I had a rest day too.
You
Four-
could do that.
4 months. You
That's
hear me?
ridiculous.
4 months. But he had an injury where he essentially broke both of his wrists, so he couldn't do
Oh,
upper
wow.
body. So he's like, what am I going to do now?
Just
He's-
squat.
You squat.
Squat every
4
day.
months.
Straight squat.
Every day. Now his squat, he has the most beautiful squat I've ever seen in my
Wow,
life. He's
wow.
a monster. He's a monster. You're gonna see that episode with Mamu. But yeah, the leg days with the female trainers are different. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
It's different. I ain't gonna lie.
But outside of that, for the people who are in relationships, do you have any advice on how to communicate with your partner to support them in their journey?
Mm.
All right. So this has nothing to do with fitness. This has to do with support.
Yes.
Yes.
Today I get home, and this is
1000%.
crazy. Like, God is so phenomenal for this.
Just
Yeah, I get home. My wife has flowers. I like cheesecake. She got me a single size cheesecake and a card. And I'm like almost like, we both know it's not my birthday. We both know.
What?
Like, I'm looking at her like she's low key crazy because I'm like, what is this? And she's done this maybe twice before, and that's a lot of times for how long we've known each other. And it's never been my birthday when she does it. But this is the first time I'm getting flowers, and I'm like, she's like, I'm proud of you, and I'm super proud that you I did my men's meeting yesterday. I started the program, and it's just a different type of love. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to support, it makes me feel like I gotta step my game up sometimes.
You're very supportive.
No, I am. But like, as a man, you don't expect this level of support outside of just the support you normally get from your partner. She went all out, and it's encouraging. It was overwhelming a little bit because that it's also an expectation in that, like an accountability. But on the other side, like, I'm really, really hoping that you get to that next level.
Yeah.
Keep pushing, keep
Yeah.
going. This is how much I believe in you.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh shoot.
Well, I'll be like honest. As men, we're not used to getting
Right.
that kind of energy. We're accustomed to being able to work on our own, work
Yeah.
behind closed doors,
Mhm.
not have anybody give us our flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And-
literally what she said.
And
I'm
you
giving
actually
flowers.
gave him,
And you
like,
actually
literally
gave him
Literally,
flowers.
literally, it's first time
But-
ever.
But honestly, I think even just doing it, it could have been just once. I feel like as a man, it just puts things into perspective for you that you're like, oh, I can't go back now. Like there's such a
But-
battery.
Yeah.
There's
Thank
such a
you.
battery
Yeah.
that
You
gets
can't
put in
stop.
your
Like,
back.
it was
that I
like- it was
literally
like,
can't
okay,
stop. You're
all
like,
right.
oh wow, I gotta really
Mhm.
step my stuff
Mhm.
up. And
Yeah.
honestly, I think, and especially like as black men,
I was gonna say that.
100%. Like we are so ingrained to doing stuff on our own.
Yeah.
We don't ask for help.
And
we don't
underappreciated in
complain.
the process
Yeah.
too.
We're just taught
Mhm.
that you can't do that kind of stuff. So I think having somebody like yourself, you're gonna elevate this man to a whole nother level, whether he likes it or not.
Thank
you.
you.
Know?
Name.
You have no
That's a
choice in
fact.
it.
That's a whole fact. And we was talking about that earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had a
it's the truth.
conversation,
It's the
probably
truth.
like a half an hour conversation about all that. And I saw you
And
guys.
that happened after that. That's what you
Really?
did. Yeah, it's just it's crazy, right?
Manifested it, man. It was gonna happen.
Yeah.
to you.
And you
Yeah.
gotta I mean, me as a wife, I feel like there's so many different things, but one of the biggest things is I want to genuinely see him win. Like I want to genuinely see him prosper, and walk in his purpose and do it boldly. And for him to take that step, I was genuinely proud. So if I know that one of his love languages is affirmations, I have to affirm that he's on track. Like he's doing good. God is pleased with him. He sees him. And I can't be in the house with him and not let him know this, And as busy as we are, I'm like taking 2 seconds out of it. We're like literally crunched for time, but I'm like, I have to do this. Like this means everything because if he's good, then I'm good because we are one, and vice
Amazing.
versa.
Amazing.
That's huge, man.
That's
and that's
huge.
incredible. I did my homework. How much of that had to do with the therapy that you guys did together? Because I
Well,
remember seeing. Talk to me about that challenge. I saw you guys do a hiking challenge that was something given to you by your
oh,
therapist, counselor.
to date.
Um,
What was it? Was a marriage?
You
It was
deep
it was a
Oh,
relationship.
going
It
about
was
this one.
you weren't
This
married
was
at the
before.
time. It
Oh,
was
no,
a
we went through.
relationship
Okay,
counselor.
so
Oh, I remember.
so
Wow,
his.
so many phases of
I
our
know. I'm
relationship.
like, yeah.
You
You
can
So
gotta
many
say
like
phases
which
in such a
one?
short time.
So we were together a lot,
Yeah, a lot. Like
in
every.
in the first few phases of our relationship,
Mhm.
and we sat down with a couple counselor, and
First of all,
they,
before you get into that, what made you guys decide to get a relationship counselor?
she believes in counsel. I do too, but I've never been able to like. It hasn't been accessible to me. I've always wanted it. I've always thought it was a safe thing to do. I just never did it.
Mm-hmm.
And so once
yeah.
we agreed, I
Mhm.
guess and just What was you gonna
I
say?
mean, we just never. We both. So I do. I wholeheartedly believe in counsel.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I know that we've never experienced like really healthy relationship
Yeah.
and what that looked like. So we needed help to walk through this thing,
Mhm.
and to develop it on our own. Well, in our own home, our
Mhm.
way. So we got some counsel. We figured things out on our own, how our house should look, and yeah, we walked through it.
And that counseling session was actually
Led us
told to
to
separate a little bit. Actually, like
Yeah.
meet each other only for dates.
right.
Because we spent real time. Like I would be helping her at her gym. She'd be helping me with whatever I'm doing. It would just
Project,
always be
yeah.
like, whatever project you want, I'm with you. Whatever project I'm with you. And it's like we were never like not together. And so we took a week off, which felt like forever.
It really does.
Well, I mean, when you spend it every day together, a week
It
is gonna
does.
feel like
Yeah,
an
Feels
eternity.
like
But
an
it helped
eternity.
us so much.
It did,
though.
and we
Like,
went on
it
dates.
strengthened us.
Yeah,
I
it
was gonna
did.
ask that as like a follow up. Like, did you find after the week that you looked at things a little differently between each other? Were you more excited about each other a little bit more?
I
Like
was
how
definitely more excited.
My excitement didn't change. I was always.
he was.
Now, I'm not gonna lie.
Yo,
It was actually
Aaron
hard.
always go against.
I'm not gonna
the
lie.
grain.
Yeah,
because
You can't help it.
Oh, you know. Okay.
here's the truth though. I did not want to do that.
No,
I
he-
told her I was against
Ooh.
it. So I was like, for what?
What?
That doesn't even make sense to me. But I was going against it because it
That's
didn't
what
make
you do.
sense to
I'm
me.
playing. I'm playing.
Well, it didn't make sense.
I'm playing.
But everyone at the table was like, I'm with it. She was with it super quick, so I had to be with it.
So excited because I knew.
And
Listen, one of the reasons why I felt like it would help us is because number one, these are two counselors that have been married and they have like wisdom, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm asking God before I'm like, God, give us what we need. Like we need something. So I'm going to take this instruction
Yep.
as it was you. So when they start speaking, I'm like, yes, okay, yes, let's do it. When tonight?
See you later.
Alright,
I'll see you next
start
we
week.
wasn't on the
tonight.
same page
At
initially.
all.
But
Yeah.
I did it and I got a lot from it. Intimacy has its elements. There's so much attached to intimacy that doesn't involve
Sorry.
actual sex.
Right.
And that distance created a level of intimacy that we didn't experience in our entire relationship at the
Right.
time that we needed to experience. So when we were separated and only going on dates, which we didn't get to do all the time because we were always working, always
Doing
together,
this, yeah.
it created like a nostalgic energy of us experiencing things and then separating again and then
Yep.
honing this. It was something that we didn't even know we needed.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
yeah.
and
How did the hiking thing work? Because I saw it and I'm like, I gotta ask about that, but I gotta wait.
we both love it.
Yeah, I was like, we both enjoy hiking.
That was a suggestion. Like, what was
No,
the
that
what
was
was
just
the
one of the dates that we.
that was a date that you guys decided on.
And we did it
Yeah.
3 times.
Three,
A lot.
three.
As many times as we could.
Do you hike?
Yeah. She found out real quick how much I hike.
Yeah, no. There's one place
Yeah.
you took me. Oh my God.
We was racing against the
Was
sun.
died.
It was crazy.
But it was
So
exciting.
you didn't hike before.
Not the way I
didn't
hike.
how he hiked. Like I like.
I
to
hike
just
for
enjoy
real.
the
She likes to
scene and,
walk.
like,
You
fresh
move
nature.
air. I like
She likes nature.
nature
Yeah, she's
with no bugs.
She's a plant mom.
Yeah, I love.
So
yes. So we just enjoyed it. And that was one of the things that we're like, let's do, like, and be intentional, because we can walk, we can talk, we can, just
Connect,
fresh air,
like with the
not be distracted by like going out
mhm.
to eat and a server and ordering food. It was just us.
Join each other.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Time. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it really helped.
It did, and we love it, and we try and plan for it everywhere we go, anytime we can.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So we talked about it earlier, right? Is it's kind of seamless for you guys because of what you guys are doing for a living, supporting each other in like your wellness spaces and your own fitness journeys.
Mhm.
But a lot of couples and out there, it's not like that. You usually have like one person that's fit or one person that's super active and one person
Yeah.
that maybe isn't as active. How would you communicate to people to help each other kind of navigate through that?
Well,
'Cause I'm sure you guys go through ups and downs too. You guys
Yeah.
go through ups and downs.
And I'm sure you got
She's
clients
has
who
better
do-
experience
who-
with this
who
than
deal
I
with that.
have.
in terms of what?
In terms of being in relationships with people that didn't do
That are
this
not-
before.
Okay, great.
That's not that. It's just the truth.
Yeah, I'm
He's
just I'm
like-
feeling it
It's
like
really good. It's
Headshot.
okay. I have it. So yeah. You literally, so for me, obviously I'm the fit one out of the experiences I had in the past prior
Right.
to Aaron. And the one thing that I had to do was remain Kiana. So
Okay.
like I couldn't have someone, obviously this is my purpose.
Right.
Right. This is me. This is who I am. It's a huge part of who I am. And I had to stand my ground in that. That's who I am. It's a part of my purpose. And so with the people that I've dated outside of the fitness industry, or like just being fit in general,
right.
it was a lot of just doing what I had to do.
No, I get it. That's why I
And
wanted to ask.
I'm gonna be honest. Like it wasn't the easiest. It was very challenging at times, but slowly but surely, if I was a light and if I was a good example, they would come around.
Right.
Especially if it's in my home, like right now we might have snacks, but I wouldn't have these things, accessible, because especially like I'm dating, they're coming over. I'm like, because I didn't want to entertain that part.
Exactly.
I need to show them the better part so that they
Yeah.
can get on track.
They could fall in.
Yeah,
into
because
their
it was like,
lifestyle.
all right, well, I'm not going to be no better than them if I'm going to expose them to this.
Yeah,
And,
you're supporting bad habits, right?
right. So I didn't want to do that. So but slowly but surely, like they might not be gurus out here, but I hope
No,
they
of
still
course not.
running and walking and stuff.
100%.
Hope you made some kind of impact.
Yeah,
Something.
with me,
Mhm.
I would say, like she said, stay the course, stay on task with your purpose.
Right.
And I think when you like somebody or you love somebody,
Mhm.
the better qualities rub off on them.
1000%.
But when it's time to kind of pour into them, you meet them where they're at. You don't
Exactly.
try and bring them to where you're at.
Mhm.
I think that's also the thing. So
That's the hard part.
and it's also like that you got to study your partner in that space
Yep.
to know that you can speak to them where they're at and understand where they're trying to go, and if it even looks
Mhm.
like they'll want to take that step, because it's really not a good thing to be in polar opposite worlds like that,
Yep.
because that's a health thing. That's strictly a health thing.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day,
want to do that.
you can't be with someone that's not taking care of themselves. Like it's
100%.
just I don't see how that can really work. I've never been in that situation. So if you find yourself doing that and you're pouring into something that's just there's a hole at the bottom.
Exactly.
I don't think it's a safe
not- it's
situation.
not
I
a-
don't think
yeah.
it's a safe
Yeah.
relationship.
No.
For it's almost like the same thing with money. Like if you
Yeah.
find that person just doesn't want to get up and do something,
Then this ain't gonna work.
It's
then
not
it
gonna
shouldn't
work.
work.
It's not gonna
It shouldn't,
work.
it shouldn't
Exactly.
be something you
Yeah.
fight for. It's the same
100%.
thing. Health
Yeah.
and wealth. It's the same thing. I don't think it's any different.
Yeah, no, you can't force somebody to live a lifestyle or force somebody to make certain daily choices that they're not accustomed to making or they don't want to do.
Right.
But
We
I-
fire those type of clients.
there you go. Exactly. No, 100%.
seriously.
Like I can't force you to do anything that you don't want to do. I can
Right.
give you the script. I can bring you to the water. I can
Yeah.
show you the path.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to walk it, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So I that's why I think why we see such a thing out here with couples where they're all like very similar. Like if they're out of shape, their partner's out of shape.
Yeah.
If they're in shape, their partner's in shape.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's not saying it's weird how it happens. I just think it is what it is.
Right. And two can't walk together unless they agree anyway.
There you go.
So,
Oops, speaking my
Little
language.
Bible.
So I'm about to say, yeah, just
Put that in there.
threw that in there. Like, thank you.
Gotta back it up with the word real quick. Okay.
So, like, have you guys had, like, individually, have you had any major challenges with, like, staying consistent with your wellness routine? Like speak to that, because from the outside looking in, it looks
To
like
be
you
honest,
guys
to be
have
honest.
always just like been in shape, and
Like,
in reality, that's not it.
To the general public, we're always gonna look like we're in shape all the
We
time.
look like superheroes
True.
to most people. Yeah.
So in my house, we both know based on how we talk and we move and we act, like, yeah, you not locked in like you usually locked in. I haven't been, because I wasn't, because I've been going through a season of dealing with like a lot of new stuff going on in my life and things I have to adjust to in terms of like not just getting married, but also just my life changing and it not really looking how I always thought it would look in terms of my personal life. So it took a toll on how I felt every time I left the gym. I usually feel like a superhero. I
Right.
feel like, I feel good.
Yeah, can't tell.
Now I could do as hard a work as I can. I don't feel the same way. And it's really because there's something else I'm not working on that I need, as far as my health is concerned, my emotional health or my spiritual health, that I needed to tend to. And stress can kind of interfere with that. And it might not, I might not look bad, but I look bad. You know what I'm saying? I look bad. I don't feel like Aaron. I don't feel like the man that stepped into this relationship, or the man that usually bounces back into his regimen real quick. And that's because like it doesn't matter how hard I work, how good my diet is, my mental health is going to affect my body.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's something that people really need to understand.
Yeah, and it's she's been supportive in that area too, but I've also had to be vocal. I couldn't just say I don't feel like myself.
Yep.
I have to say what's going on with me,
That
and
requires you being vulnerable.
Yeah, and a lot of times
that's easy for a lot of men to do.
No.
A lot of times it be the relationship that you can't be vulnerable in, that holding that stress at a high level.
Yes.
And it's not so much the partner, it's really a man thing. It's a man
100%.
issue. It's a man space that we get into, where if you're dealing with someone that kind of don't know how to address this and you're not sure about it, you're gonna hold on to it. You're gonna just like you're gonna cradle into it. But it might not look the same
Exactly.
as like a punk would or whatever. It's just going to weigh on you. It's
100%.
gonna weigh on you.
You're just gonna internalize it.
And I had to address it because I'm like, yo, I really want to feel like myself.
100%.
And so I'm back to it. I'm back to it. And it took a while, but it's like it's hard to address that. And I honestly could see why people get out of shape.
1,000%.
Like
it's like a snowball. It's a snowball effect. When something falls off the tracks, and then all of a sudden something else falls off the tracks, and it's like, I'll try to get this back, but then this is already gone. People go through this every day.
Yeah.
Whether it's lack of sleep, whether it's stress from work, whether it's something in the relationship. And that's what we're here trying to do, is just tell people that like your mindset is the first and foremost before you start thinking about training. If your mindset isn't intact or isn't in line with what you're trying to do, I don't think a weight goal is going to mean anything.
And like I can tell you, like we go to the gym, I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be locking in. Numbers is up. Everything's up. My diet could be slightly on point, but that's also affected because now you eat in a certain way because of how you feel. So you on and off with that.
There you go.
And that's helping the problem metastasize, and then your mental health is not being addressed. So that's also creating so if you're not on point with your mental health, don't go in the gym trying to fix the problem. Address it as well.
There you go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because all the healths matter. All those healths matter. Spiritual health, mental health, emotional health.
They're all dependent on one another.
And it's adulthood. That's what it really is.
There you go.
That's a fact.
Grown man, grown woman stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what it's been like for me.
And what about you, Kiana?
Oh wow.
Say, oh wow.
I mean, you knew you were up next.
You knew you were up next. It wasn't like we were
just going to ask
somebody else. Yeah.
So
it's like, where do I start?
Where do I go with this?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
you have your ebbs and flows in other areas, but she gets back on track. She beats herself up way too much, not to fall off too hard.
Yeah, like I guess as a woman, like we just hard on ourselves.
1,000%.
Like I can always go harder. I didn't do well enough. I always say things like, how was your session? I'm like, it was all right. I could do better.
You're not giving yourself
I'm
any
always talking
credit.
to myself.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I do enjoy it. So like he said, like I always go hard. I mean, even on the days that I don't feel like it,
Right.
I do. And I will say that because I also do the work outside of the gym, like mentally for myself,
Mhm.
when I get into the gym, there is another level of release that happens for me in there.
Mm.
Like I don't know, but like even with us in our relationship, like we can be
Yo,
walking through.
we would be fighting, but we in
We don't
love.
hardcore fight.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah. I mean,
I'm
what I'm
like,
saying is we
you're
could
not
be
here beating
bickering.
me
Yeah,
up.
is
Yeah,
that the
you're not
word
no
we should
bickering.
use? We could be
Yeah,
bickering or
whatever.
having a very, very high level of miscommunication.
Yeah.
And because the gym is we just love it so much, we reconnect and we resolve all of our issues every time we hit the gym.
I promise. It's like nothing ever happened.
That's amazing.
I remember one
Legit.
huge issue that lasted all day. We got to the gym
We
like 1 o'clock in the
let's just
morning.
I still want to go to the gym or something.
Yeah, it was like one of those, you want to
Just-
go? I want to
alright,
go.
I
Yeah,
know.
whatever. And we get in there.
You know how we
And
are.
I usually got to do the man thing and apologize about something. And as soon as I do, because we're in that space, we start to like light up and we have mad fun.
Yeah.
Mad fun. And we enjoy each other in that space. And it creates, I guess it releases us from our stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of times, especially when it's an us thing that we got going on. And every time I'm dealing with something, I get closer to in the gym. I usually do. It's a safe place for us.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's not like because we're such hyper gym people. It's just we respect that sanctity. That in church, it's like the same place for us. Like
Yeah.
if you see us in church, we're the same way in church as we are in the gym.
That's
same
amazing.
exact way.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I feel like